Well, fall is almost here, as Dave just mentioned, and in just a few weeks, several anglers will be putting their boats away for the winter. In the final fishing tip of the year, Paul Nelson gives a few tips on what you can do with your boat before winter comes.
This is going to be our last fishing tip of the season, and some of the things that anglers maybe look forward to for winter are some of the things that you need to do for your boat before the winter happens. One of the things I like to do is I start adding fuel stabilizer into my gas early in the year because I never know when my last trip is going to be. A lot of anglers will actually fish until about the rifle deer season in early November, so depending on how much people hunt as well as fish, you never really know when that last trip is going to be on the water. I like to keep going as long as I can. So I start adding fuel stabilizer. If anybody is using ethanol, stop doing that. It's a bad idea to use that, but you want to use premium gas that doesn't have any of that gasohol in it so that you're pretty much straight gas in the tank. I also like to have my tank run down close to empty and just add a bunch of additives to it. I think that if you have a full tank of gas and you got more gas you got to burn in the spring. I usually like to save and do my spark plugs in the spring, but there's other things you can do to your boat. I like to take the prop off of my motor and all my trolling motors. You can have line in there, especially the new super braids that doesn't break down, doesn't tear. That'll work into your seals and can damage your units. It's also a good idea to change your lower unit grease in the fall. That way if there's any water in there, it doesn't have a chance to freeze over the winter time. I also like to fill up my bearing buddies. If you've got a trailer that doesn't have a bearing buddy on it, it's a good time in the fall to be able to do those. They actually make kits that make changing those a lot easier. Some of the other things I like to do really is just check the tires. It's a good time to buy tires. Check the lighting on your trailer and get some of those projects done in the fall so you don't have quite as many things to do in the spring. Unless you know something I don't know, we'll see you again next spring. This has been Paul Nelson from the Bemidji Area Lakes Guide Service.
If you've enjoyed this segment of Lakeland News, please consider making a tax-deductible contribution to Lakeland Public Television.